This is a guided tour of the main part of Free Flight administration system. This is the office admin level, which is the highest level that you can go to within the system. When the office administrator logs in the morning, the first thing that he or she sees will be the Airfield Diary. A lot of the things that we do within the administration system affects the airfield loading in one way or the other, whether we sell trial lessons, whether we sell evening groups, or whether we've got public courses running. So it's important that the administrators can very quickly and easily respond to telephone calls, look at the diary, find out what free slots we've got available, and react accordingly. Also, when people pay, it's important to be able to get to the information quickly so that they can, so the charges can be applied. You'll see it's a live diary. So if we look at, for instance, that item there, we can click on the item and quickly pull up information about that particular event. That's a BGA mini course, and it's logged in for a period of half a day, 11:30 to 17:30 at night. And that's basically it. There are different screens for whether it's an evening group or whether it's a trial lesson. And that's on its own separate tab. We can move between the tabs, and often when we do other things within the system, additional tabs will open up. So when the phone rings, we can always go back and hit the diary tab and pull the diary up. Alerts are simply things that happen on the system that the administrator needs to know about. This one is telling us that a member has made an online payment, and it's just a reminder to check the account to make sure that the payment was transacted successfully. Renewals pending we only use once a year. That keeps us up to date with any renewals that have come in via the online system, so that we can track that the payments have come into the office okay. Other menus and utilities where the person with the office admin level can actually go into other parts of the system that the ordinary members cannot see. For instance, the finance menus, and also lots of other menus. For instance, the duty clerk menu, the flight planner, the training supervisor, all of which we'll go through in some other tutorial in the future. The main place where the administrator will spend most of the time is in the current members database. I'm going to look up a particular member. We better make it me so we don't give away too much sensitive information. So I enter a surname. I could equally have entered a membership number, and I click on the active member tab, and at that point it brings up a list of 1UP, which we will then click on. This is the main record that we hold for each individual member within the club. A number of tabs across the screen just to make the screen easier to read. This is the main member information, the membership type, the class, whether it's flying or whether it's an associate membership, and various other methods of being able to analyze the membership by whatever method. The current status is renewed, and the date that the status was changed was the 14th of 2nd. Our particular renewal date is the 1st of March. A number of options here for various members. I can send attachments with my emails. I've also elected to opt out of printed statements. That's simply because I look at them online. The contact information, as you might gather, is basically just information about me: address, telephone numbers, email addresses, how I can be contacted. The next of kin likewise gives information about who's contacted should I break my leg or anything. The flying information, there's quite a lot of information on there. We have a letter of agreement with Manchester Airport, and there's some information here relates to that. When I last had my annual check flight, what my flying card status is, what my currency level is. I'm on a 30-day currency. When medical was last renewed, a lot of these things are calculated by the system based on the date of birth. So the date medical expires, you'll see is 10th of 10th 2012. That unfortunately is when I hit my 65th birthday, and I'll then have to go on to annual medicals. Life is never as easy, is it? And The duty information alerts the system as what my duties are. I'm a winch trainer. I'm also a launch marshal as my secondary duty. Although for the rota purposes, that normally picks up the primary duty. Skill levels is currently being expanded on with the close cooperation of our CFI. We'll assume more details about that in the near future, but essentially it's going to be used to record all the training exercises required to meet the EASA standards in the future. At the moment, we just use it for other things. For instance, like I'm a canopy polisher. I don't like doing it, but we'll do it sometimes. And mechanical maintenance. Notable flights is just a feature of the system where members can upload information about notable flights they've had. Not necessarily the longest or the highest. A notable flight in our terms could simply be the first two-seater thermal ride you have where you've done all the thermaling yourself, totally unaided by the bloke in the back. Logbooks, again, these are picked up normally by the members, but obviously the administrator has access to them as well. We split the logbook into flights as P1s and flights as P2. The other main thing, of course, is the financial information, again, which the office administrator looks at on regular occasions. But again, all of the information here is available to the member via their own personal login. Printable statements. Just across the top here, we've got the ability to send a letter to the member, to lapse the member if they don't pay their renewal subscriptions on time. And for the benefit of members who don't have access to the internet, these are getting fewer by the year. If they request it, then we can actually print out a statement for them and send it in the post. A special option there, if anything goes wrong with the online renewal process, the administrator can roll it back and ask the member to start again. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Very quickly moving on, there is a separate video about how to send bulk emails, so I'm not going to go into it there. Marketing is close to my heart because I'm actually also the marketing manager for the club, and we can look at the various types of sales that we have, and we can make new sales. If I look, for instance, at the courses for this year, and I must remember to change this so it's sorted in descending order, but I can quickly see at a glance here what courses we've got running, and more importantly how many places we've got left to sell. So I'm primarily responsible for the public courses, somebody else looks after our member courses. So I can very quickly see that, oh lovely, the first one in August is full, last one in August is half full, so we're doing quite well. The one thing I wanted to show you whilst in here was that if I want to interrogate a course, or more importantly communicate with the members on that course, I can click the edit button, get a list of the members that I will see on the course, and when the time is right I will click on the button to send them a joining letter. Things will whiz and happen in the background, and once the screen comes back and you regain control, you'll know that an email has been sent to that particular person with attachments for the joining instructions and details of how to reach the club, and there's a copy in your inbox ready for you to have a look at. One of the key operations that the office do each morning is they review the flying sheets for the previous day, just to make sure that the people at lunch point haven't made too many mistakes. Now, I happen to know that we weren't flying yesterday because the weather was rubbish, so I'll just go back to Tuesday and let's have a look at C1. And here we are, Broken Cloud. Let's have a look at the flights. And we can see they're listed in order, and there are facilities in here at this end for the office admin to be able to quickly correct the most common mistakes. Although I have to say, the online flight logging has been improved over recent months, so the number of errors at the launch point these days are actually remarkably small. You'll just quickly notice that there are some comments in here. Like a member here has done an annual check flight and a second annual check flight, which has now been marked as complete. This triggers some additional features within the software, which will actually alter the dates of the next annual check flight required by that pilot. So again, reducing the amount of administrative time the office has to do. Some more tabs along here which are actually filled in at the launch point. We know who the duty instructors were on the day, we know who the launch marshals were on the day, we know who the duty clerks were on the day, and we should know who the winch driver is, except that somebody's forgotten to fill that bit in. So if we ever need to refer back to any incidents that happened on that day, we know who to contact and who to ask. Just going back to the members menu item for a second, I'll very quickly show you a lot of the reporting facilities within the system, although I'm not going to pull each one up. Ability to enter payments from a member, credit and expenses claimed to a member's account. Very often they don't want the money, they just want the money putting in their flying account. Entering charges other than the flight charges, of course, which get entered automatically. And sending out email reminders to delinquent payers, printing mini statements for the member, and a whole host of other things. Some of these are actually obsolete now and have been moved into the finance menu because these were getting a bit long-winded. Queries. Again, a whole host of queries that the operator can run. Again, a lot of them repeated in the members section, particularly a special menu that instructors and committee members can see. But again, everything that those people can do, the office person can do as well. So we've got query analysis to look at our Flying Start membership, all of our current membership, people who have not renewed this year, members who have renewed this year, members with outstanding balances, inactive member balances. That's a kind of forewarning one. If they've not flown for a while and they owe some money, the chances are they're going to disappear fairly soon, so we need to be chasing it. Launch pack usage is a Camp Hill special, and I may take it out for the final commercial version, and I'm not going to explain launch packs now. Ab initio analysis, that gives us a chance to observe the flying patterns of the two-seater trainees, find out who's flying frequently, who's not flying frequently, and likely to slip by the wayside if we don't get alongside them. Membership analysis is under test at the moment, and there's facilities for if there are any reports that I have omitted to do and you want to design them yourselves, you can do here. You can do your own thing and design your own queries. Pilot information, again, is something that's available to the instructors. And to save me logging on as an instructor, I shall do it from here so you can quickly see what information we have available. Let's find Andy Wagstaff, who last flew on the... No, let's not pick him because obviously he's about to fall by the wayside if he hasn't already done so. Dean Pearson, let's have a look at Dean Pearson. We'll click on his record, and this brings up a limited subset of information that would be useful to the instructors. They can quickly see the key dates for this person, and they can look at the logbooks to see when he last flew and how frequently he flew, and more importantly who he flew with and what aircraft he flew with. So that's a brief look through. Let's quickly have a look at some aircraft. We'll look at the aircraft stats, and we'll look at them for this particular month. The thing will whiz around. I'll actually produce a PDF document that you can then print out in the comfort of your own home and peruse at your leisure. It's not been a particularly good month at Camp Hill so far, but then again we're only a few days into it. But this gives you the launches per aircraft, the launch values per aircraft, the hours in the air per aircraft, and of course the airtime fees per aircraft. There are other reports in other parts of the system that will give you pie charts and graphs and goodness knows what else, so you can keep up to breast and keep analysing the flying data year on year. Close that down and you're back to the main system. That's it for now. If you want a more in-depth look at the system, please call me. I'll be happy to arrange a presentation for your club. Thank you for listening.